What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Exotic Weapon Reviews on BlackTideTV. Of course, we're playing Destiny 2, taking a look at the Sweet Business auto rifle today. A while back, I made a video questioning the removal of the light machine gun or machine gun weapon class here in Destiny 2. In the original game, machine guns were a very real weapon class that fell under the power or heavy weapon category. By all accounts, Sweet Business should have been in that category if light machine guns were in Destiny 2. All of its traits, all of its abilities, its statistics point towards being a light machine gun, apart from maybe the lower than average impact. If you've ever used any type of minigun-esque weapon in any first-person shooter before, you basically know what to expect here. And it's unfortunate because Sweet Business isn't exactly exotic in its own right. Where other exotic weapons in this game and in the original Destiny do extraordinary things that weapons of that same category wouldn't normally do, Sweet Business's traits, its intrinsic and special traits that are supposedly making it exotic, only make the weapon what it is. And I'll explain further a little later in this video, but Sweet Business was one of the 3 weapons available in the beta. There was Sweet Business for the Titan, Risk Runner for the Warlock, and Sunshot for the Hunter. For more information on Risk Runner, I've linked that exotic weapon review in the description down below. I'll be doing Sunshot shortly. But of the 3 exotics in the beta, I think this was absolutely the worst. Interesting enough though, a lot of people call this weapon overpowered. There are people that decide that this weapon is overpowered. There were people that decided, nah, it's not that great, and I'm in that second category. Sweet Business isn't exactly worthy of that exotic title. It doesn't do a whole lot, and even its base statistics aren't that great. However, if you happen to be using certain exotic armor pieces, certain class abilities, they can be quite beneficial to Sweet Business. But by no means will this weapon conform to your playstyle. You'll have to put Sweet Business first and build your class around the weapon, choosing certain modifications, certain armor pieces, certain abilities to make the weapon perform as it should, as an exotic weapon. 2 exotic armor pieces that I found to be very beneficial for Sweet Business, the first being for the Titan, Actium War Rig. This is a chest piece that automatically reloads your auto rifles, and it is the best piece of armor I could recommend for Sweet Business. The business time trait, which we'll discuss in a moment, does something similar, but it's much more difficult to use, and so I would definitely recommend Actium War Rig over attempting to use the traits on the weapon itself. If you're using a Warlock, the Lunafaction boots are incredible. They automatically reload your weapons when you're stepping in and out of your healing or empowering rift. So you pop a rift, stand on the edge, and step in and out to automatically reload your weapon time and time again. It's pretty powerful for Sweet Business as well, but the weapon is certainly made for the Titan, and so Actium War Rig is 100% the way to go. But let's discuss those traits in further detail. Payday, the intrinsic trait, gives the weapon a larger magazine, increasing accuracy when firing from the hip. The magazine on this weapon is the largest magazine of any weapon in the game so far at 99, which is pretty good if it weren't for the very, very small impact value. This is probably one of the smallest impact values in the entire game, on par with submachine guns. It's pretty bad. You're probably going to fire 99 bullets into any enemy with an orange bar and above, and even then you might not get the kill. Regardless of your power level with this weapon, it has an incredibly small impact, and I could not recommend it in any capacity in Crucible, because you're going to be shooting at an enemy for 20 minutes before they die. You'll probably have to reload in between to get a kill in Crucible. Like, it's not that great. A lot of people do a little tactic, which has to do with the business time trait, and that's how they use the weapon in Crucible, but as a whole, I wouldn't recommend it for Crucible, and I would barely recommend it for doing PvE. It's just not that great. The impact value is so small, and you're still going to have to fire so many bullets, regardless of the magazine size, regardless of how accurate it is in hip fire, which, by the way, You can aim down sights with this weapon and perform just as well as if you were hip firing. It's a very stable weapon, a very accurate weapon despite firing so fast and firing so many bullets at once. You can aim down sights and very easily control the recoil, so it's not a big deal if you're going to aim down sights or if you're going to hip fire, it doesn't matter. The business time trait grants increased range and rate of fire when holding down the trigger, as well as automatically loading ammo pickups into the magazine. This is what I referred to earlier with the Actium War Rig. Well, the Actium War Rig automatically loads your auto rifles. You'll still have to walk across ammo pickups to load this weapon, and you're holding down the trigger while walking across these ammo pickups. You can't just easily walk across an ammo pickup when not firing. You literally have to be holding the trigger at full fire rate capacity to pick up ammo with this weapon. And most people aren't strafing when it comes to Destiny. A lot of people like to stand still, especially in PvE when they're firing this weapon, so they're probably not walking into point blank gunfights, holding down the trigger, walking across ammo pickups. It doesn't really do anything for you. In terms of the extra range and rate of fire, well, of course, that's what makes the weapon what it is. Any minigun ever, when you're firing that thing, you're holding the trigger, it starts firing faster and faster until it overheats or you run out of ammo. Same deal here. You start out at 360 rounds per minute. Firing, I'm pretty sure it'll bring you up to around 900. I haven't done the test, but I want to say anywhere between 600 and 900. It will make the weapon fire very fast, and as I previously mentioned, it's a very stable weapon. You can fire at full fire rate capacity and still very easily control this weapon at longer ranges, which is, again, reinforcing the fact that you should be aiming down sights with this weapon. The longer you hold down the trigger, the more powerful it becomes at long range, and you're not going to be hip firing people at long range. So just aim down the sights with this weapon and just forget what the first trait said at all. Or better yet, at the end of the day, don't use Sweet Business. It's an incredibly underwhelming exotic. There is no exotic modifier here. It's just an auto rifle that fires faster when you hold down the trigger. That little cheese I mentioned earlier in Crucible with the business time trait, players will hold down the trigger and walk around corners, so they charge up the weapon beforehand and engage enemies on the other side of that doorway, of that wall, that hallway, with full fire rate. Even still, if you're using a scout rifle, an auto rifle of any other kind, a pulse rifle even, you can probably still drop this player. Sweet Business, wouldn't recommend it. What do you guys think? In the comment section down below, let me know. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.